January the 21st and 22nd. Remember those days, because those are the days from which Lewis Hamilton will be sampling his first Ferrari Formula One car around their private racetrack in Fiorano in their town of Maranello. Now, there are two external factors outside of their control from which these 2 days may change, but more on that a little later in the video. Now, I'm all sure you're very much wondering which Formula One car that Ferrari have produced will they be sampling across these 2 days. Well, with how things are set up in terms of the regulations and what they can and cannot drive, it has to be a 2-year-old Ferrari car at the minimum. And of course, with the team definitely wanting him to sample a ground effect car, that means he will be driving the SF23 across those 2 days. Before, of course, in February, which is February the 19th, I will say, then you will finally be able to sample the 2025 car. And this is, of course, all part of their process of bedding in Hamilton with how the Ferrari feels and the just operational side of things with regarding getting to know his new race engineers and team that he will be working with throughout 2025 and beyond. So exciting times are very close at hand for all of the Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton fans. And before we go a little bit further with this particular video, I want to let you all know there is another video on this channel where I go over all of the revolutionary changes Ferrari have made with their 2025 car. And Fred Vasseur has been on record now with a gathering at Maranello over the last week with all the journalists that they wanted to invite there. And he stated that basically the 25 car is 99% new. So literally the only things transferable from 24 to 25 would of course be the steering wheel and tyres to a certain degree. So yeah, there will be a link in the top right corner with regards to that revolutionary change that they have made. And I am also running a competition which I will leave the details to right now. I am looking to go out twice to Fiorano in the new year to film Lewis Hamilton's first time in a Ferrari car, as well as the shakedown of the new 2025 car. And I'm hoping to get this limited edition Monza t-shirt signed by the man himself. And I will be giving it away to one of you lucky subscribers to the channel. All you have to do is of course be subscribed and look out for those videos as and when they appear. The rules and competition will be in that video, so yeah, be on the lookout for that. Now, back to this video. I said that there could be 2 external factors outside of Ferrari's control that might change these days. Now, what were those? Well, number one is, of course, with the time of year, we don't know what the weather conditions are going to be across that particular time period. It could be snowing, it could be raining, the ambient and track temperature might not be high enough for them to run a Formula One car in, so times could change. So that is one particular aspect that Ferrari are having to stay flexible with. And they do, of course, have contingency plans with regarding where they could bring Hamilton's debut in a Ferrari car to. And there are 2 other racetracks that they have that they could use as the place to do it in. And the other 2 are, of course, the Imola racetrack, and it's very near to their home base in Maranello, so it's quite easily accessible for them to remove their gear from Maranello and transport it to Imola. And of course, the day in January from which these tests will be taking place, if you remember, is one day after the launch in London, the O2, this massive event that Formula One are putting on, which I think is actually a complete load of rubbish for fans, not for the company and the business as a whole. That is going to be very highly profitable and lucrative for them in terms of exposure and revenue, but for fans it's very much just a glorified livery reveal for the cars. You're not going to see any of the new cars there, so that's very highly unfortunate for all of you that got tickets. But of course they're going to have to be flying back the same night to make sure they're prepared for the next day from which Hamilton will be going for his test. So it's going to be a very quick turnover. And so, yeah, it's this very hectic schedule that the Ferrari team are kind of working with, and it's quite understandable considering at the end of January they want to test with Hamilton for the first time. Then they have this F1 75 launch at the O2, and then the day after that is the official debut of the 2025 Project 677, and I believe they're just going to be calling it the SF25. Why break the current tradition that we have of the SF23, 24, and then call it something completely different? I just don't see that. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up here. I'm not going to prolong it any more than it needs to be. If, of course, you have enjoyed it, do leave a like on the video down below. Leave any comments with regards to this. And, of course, be on the lookout later today for that video on the revolutionary changes that the team have made. Alright guys, I'll catch you a little bit later today.